open up this mosh pit of games reviews. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to the 8-bit review mosh pit. So, I'm joined by the illustrious... Is that a good adjective? Let's just double check. I assume it is. Well known, respected, yes, and admired for past achievements, Mr. Paul Cunningham.
Ah, hello there.
I mean, you are in a bathrobe, just looking,
I am.
like a pimp.
I am in a bathroom today. It's fantastic.
Beautiful.
It's nice and warm in this winter climate that we currently have in Australia.
Yeah, it's not good for my asthma, especially with all the masks we have to wear now. Damn it! In this biohazardous environment. Speaking of biohazardous. We're going to be reviewing Carrion, if you couldn't tell from the title of the YouTube video. We've both got codes for it, which is very cool.
Thank you, Devolver Digital, for the review codes.
Allowing us to be part of the future's future. So, Carrion. Oh my god, so this is a super cool game.
The setting is very simple. You are in a human facility, a lab facility, and it's your job to escape.
You're breaking out of containment, and you're like a big, bloody abomination thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a mix of maybe like the Blob, but a more meaty version, and John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay. I was thinking more Alien because, like, the way you're stealthing around, just like pulling people out of, the middle of nowhere to go eat them.
And the reason why I got the John Carpenter The Thing vibe is because all the tentacles everywhere. Because The Thing is very well known for its tentacles and its ability to, like, we've seen it in trailers, so I feel like it's okay to talk about this ability, the mind control ability, where you use a tentacle to control an enemy. But then when you're done with it, you explode out of the creature, out of like the human you're controlling. So that's where I feel like that just feels like The Thing to me, where you're impersonating someone, and then when you're done with it, you just the tentacle burst out of it.
Fair enough. So I mean, I was kind of curious. What did you think? Like, there wasn't a lot on offer, but what did you think of the story, as it were, without necessarily having to delve into spoilers?
Yeah, I'm going into this. It's an indie game, so my expectations are set to that level. So I think they do enough to pretty much put you into the game and get you going. I didn't find a lot of hand-holding, a lot of stuff. It just literally just goes, you are this monster. Go nuts.
I mean, literally the start of the game, you're just like in a glass box going, and then like busting out, and then like the game has started.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, and as you progress through the game, you get little flashbacks of how you ended up there. It's argument.
Yeah, I mean,
it's argumental that if they should even be there or not. But I guess it breaks up the gameplay a little bit of you constantly being the monster, because in these flashbacks you get to play as humans going through and discovering, I guess, this lair or facility that was destroyed previously by, I guess, the previous version of your creature or yourself or whatever.
I kind of agree with you. Like, it's kind of just... There's so many games where, it's story focused, like it's a walking sim, it's all about like telling a story. But then there are a whole bunch of games like this one where the story is just kind of, the wrapping around, just the gameplay. Because this game is just entirely focused on the moment-to-moment gameplay. Did you like the human sections? Because I just found them kind of annoying, to be honest.
I didn't find them annoying, and that's where I think I was going with, where you can make an argument if they even necessary or not. To me, they are there to just break up the gameplay of being the monster constantly. Because you don't get a whole lot.
Fantasy.
Yeah, the power fantasy. You don't get a whole lot out of the human section. You get a little bit of backstory of where you as a creature came from, but it's that's kind of what you expected.
What did you think about the presentation? So, it has this whole pixely style. Like, did you kind of gel with that? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, most indie developers go for the pixel art style, and I love pixel art games. Like, I'm old. I grew up in that generation of 8-bit, 16-bit, all that stuff. So, and you know, and now modern developers can take it so much more beyond what the 8-bit and 16 era. They're not limited by those bits anymore, those evil bits. So this game, it looks fantastic. Especially the monster, the monster itself looks fantastic. The way it moves,
exactly,
it flows,
it's so cool.
It's great. Like as it moves and flows through the environment, it just shoots tentacles out everywhere, grabbing and pulling itself. And it's just fantastic. And it moves quick. It moves really quick.
Well, I really liked how, and I mean, we'll get to this a bit more when we get into gameplay. So I played this entirely on keyboard and mouse, and you played entirely on controller. How did you feel about it on controller? Yeah. Like, did it work for you?
Yeah, it worked fantastically. It felt like I was flying through the air as this mystical creature gliding
a magic
through the
carpet ride of death.
And controlling the tentacles with the right thumbstick just felt natural to me.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that it reminds me a lot of, what the fuck's it called? My Friend Pedro, in that, like, I imagine, like, mouse and keyboard would work better for me just because it's, like, a little bit more precise. But I haven't had a chance. Like, I mean, I'm gonna probably be playing with mouse and keyboard to record the footage you are now seeing. So you could probably judge for yourself how crap I'm doing at it. So, I don't know. And I think also it is worth noting, like, having, like, a good amount of control, I feel is very important if you're gonna have, like, over-the-top power fantasy. Like, I should be able to actually grab things if that's important to the plot.
Yeah, I think there's two different sides of that, because on the PC one, I imagine you have better control of your tentacle with the mouse, but I think I have a lot more control of the movement with my thumbstick.
Yeah, I can say that. But at the same time, I also liked how when you clicked with the mouse, like, it would do whatever it had to. It, like, put tentacles all over the place to just get there, even though some of the time it would also kind of be a bit awkward. Because you'd be like, I want to go over to the left, and you'd move the mouse down too much, and instead of going up and over, it would be down, and it'd be like, oh, no. But,
okay,
I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I'll probably put, like, some kind of, like, comment, like, some subtitle here to be like, the controls were blank. I did find it very interesting how, as your character gets, more power, more health, more, meat, it actually kind of becomes, like, a little bit harder to manipulate through some of the areas.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
it does become a little bit harder because because there is no head to this creature. Generally directing it from one end or the other.
Yeah.
And as you start getting larger and larger, for you, it gets a little bit more difficult to get that large body around corners and stuff. But I never found it frustrating, honestly.
I mean, I didn't find it frustrating. I just thought it was a very interesting way to kind of, like, there's a lot of stuff obviously with, like, powers. So, like, as you're developing through the game, you get, additional powers, and which ones you have access to will depend on, like, how much body mass you have, as well as if you've got, like, energy, which is, just kind of like a resource pool. And I find it interesting, like, how the game used that to kind of make it so, you had to depower yourself from time to time to be able to get through. Like, if you want to be invisible, you can't be this giant hulking colossus because, that doesn't go well with stealth. And I thought it was just a really interesting way to kind of, like, regulate the difficulty a little bit in an organic way. So we're definitely into talking about gameplay now. Mm-hmm. So this game has a bit of a Metroidvania light style to it, as it has a big open map, and to progress, you need new abilities. And as you get new abilities, you can use those abilities to open up new areas of the map.
And so far, like a good Metroidvania, what it would do is those abilities will be useful for progression and combat. And for pretty much 90% of it, it does it right. There's only one ability in the game that is only used for progression, and it's pretty much useless in any other situation.
You mean the last one?
The one where you turn into worms and water.
Yeah.
So that's the only ability in game that is not useful in combat and is only for progression.
It sort of is, because like mobility aids, you know, your option to like flank people and stuff to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, to a certain extent. Why can't I say words? Extent. Been mind controlled by a fucking monster. Anyway, I'm not real poor.
Alright.
But no, I guess that's arguable, but it's not as interesting as the other one would be.
Yeah, I suppose.
But like I said, all the other abilities are fun to use, and you can use them in many different situations.
Yeah.
And I feel like the game is keeping itself interesting by constantly giving you these abilities. I think they pace out really well, because I was personally getting a new ability every half hour or so.
Yeah, so you feel super fucking powerful by the end. I mean, admittedly, then like the opposition gets like so much better, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, the enemies they do progress well with you, because you start off with like civilians with pistols.
Foolish mortals.
Easy. They're just a little snack. Easy to take down. But then you start progressing and seeing more android units that have machine guns and flamethrowers. The android humanoids at first I was like, what? Why can't I eat these guys? And then I realized, oh, I get it. They're androids or robots.
Bastards.
Like I can't eat them. Alright, fine, just slam them against the wall. Bang, 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 and then you chew and then you shake them around like a dog with a chew.
I mean, I do love how, like, some of the enemies, literally, the game plan is, distract them for a bit and then just slam them against all the walls until they stop moving. It's like, okay, sure, if you want me to go for that. And I do love how, like, the game, because you have these difficult enemies, you do have to... Like, even though you are going, like, I'm going to bash them against the walls, you do have to kind of be strategic before you can bash them against the walls to kind of...
Yeah, so keep it with the whole, like, you're playing as the horror movie creature, you have to stay.
But did you point at yourself while you were doing that? Me,
I'm the real monster. I am the real monster, yes, because I am the monster. We are playing as the monster.
We are the monster.
We are the monster. But no, yeah, you have to use the vents and dark corners and like just any other abilities, like using your roar to make like the weaker enemies will run away, where the as we were saying, the android type guys will usually move towards you, so you can usually use that to manipulate where they're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, my strategy was generally just to grab the vent and just try and hit someone with it, and then just rush them.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's always fun to grab just some random object, or even sometimes just another human, just toss them at
just toss them at them. Perfect.
Yeah, I was just want to say before, while we're still on enemies, there's only one enemy type that I was like, I think they need to tweak a little bit.
Okay.
And that's the drone that comes out of the wall, the ball drone.
Okay.
Because the only reason I say that is because I cheese the fuck out of it. Because when they're coming out, I know they're coming out, so I just sit at the wall. As it comes out, I grab it and kill it straight away.
Okay.
So it has no chance to fight back. And there's been so many times where like, I've gone there, like there was even two spawning at once. So I grabbed one, went boom, boom, and then grabbed the other one straight away, went boom. Had no chance to even pick up a shield.
Yeah. If I had to pick one I had an issue with, I'd probably pick the other drones, which are like the ones that spawn out of like the tank. Which, like, you have to shoot the web at. So basically it's like, oh, for this section you're just going to be on level 1 and you're just going to have a third of your health. It's like, that seems a little cheap, but alright.
It took me a while to realise what the game wanted me to do to defeat them.
Yeah. Oh, and I fucking hated the guys that just latch onto you and explode. Because I didn't know that I had to find, like, a new power. So I was trying literally every single... like, okay, it can see you. I'm going to use invisibility. And it's just like, nope. It's like, okay. That's a bit unfair, but sure.
It's funny that it's funny that you've gone through that because my experience was like, what the hell is that? I'm staying away from that. And then as I progressed in the game, got the ability that you need to, progress through that. And in that room, like you were forced to only go through that thing. Yes. So I was like, this is for? Haha! So I never had that situation where I was like, what's this? Oh, I died. How the fuck do I get past this? I went the right way.
Well, here's the thing. The reason that I kept having issues with that is because I had spent a lot of time prior to that having no idea where I was supposed to go. Now, generally, this game gives you, some guidance. Like, you could press shift to roar and it will be like, here's where the nearest, save point or whatever is. Which also, that's a pretty fucking cool idea to just be like, here's where you get your save point. But it doesn't go, here's where you're supposed to go next. So I spent...
It'll occasionally show a door opening where you need to go.
Yeah, but I suck.
For the most part, this game is very hands-off and lets you just do your own thing. Which I personally liked.
Yeah, I did
I only got lost... I only got lost once, but that's also because I did not pay attention to the game actually showing me the door. Which luckily, I was able to just quickly reload my checkpoint and then I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, there we go.
I mean, I think for me, I was just kind of in this spot of I was constantly following where it was saying to go, and at one point I just hit what I thought was a dead end, and then I was like, oh shit. It was so weird because it wasn't until I had gone through a good half an hour of being lost that I was like, oh, we're constantly going to and from a hub world. I didn't realize that there's one main area and then there's all these offshoots that you go back and forward from. Because I was like, oh, we're going from A to B to C to D to E, when it's A to B to A to C to A kind of thing.
Which makes it easier
it's just to follow where you're supposed to go.
Yeah, it does feel like it's a linear progression, but I didn't even realize at first that I was constantly going back to a hub and then jumping into different areas. And that's another positive I think for the game is it never stops you from going back to collect things or do things that you missed. Because this game doesn't have a lot of optional things, and actually it only has only one optional thing, and that's the 9 containers.
Yeah, I don't know if I got all of them. I think I might have missed one, maybe?
I got three. So they're very optional. You do not need them at all to progress. You've got your main powers that you have to get to
there's some that probably you need to kind of progress.
Yeah, that's your abilities, but these ones are clearly marked as optional, the 9 containers, it literally go numbers them in special rooms.
Wait, are the containment things the ones that give you powers or not?
They don't give you powers, they give you upgrades in a sense. So one gave you...
then I didn't get a lot. The only ones I got were the energy upgrades that give you
it was
a bar.
Yeah, well, one gives you an energy upgrade, and then I got 2 that gave me more tentacle grabs. So I can literally grab 3.
Yeah.
I can literally grab 3 humans at once and just throw them around.
So I might have gotten more than you. Because I got 2 energy upgrades and 2 tentacle upgrades.
But that's what I was saying. Because by the end of the game, I got to this room where it literally displays all these signs that the game has been showing you throughout the game, showing your progression in one room. So you can clearly go, oh, I'm missing this and this. I need to go to this area.
Yeah.
So that was nice. So the game's very friendly to I guess the achievement hunters if you're into that type of thing. If you want to collect everything, you're never blocked off from being able to collect something. You can always go back later to grab it.
Yeah. So anyway, overall, what did you think of this game? Would you recommend it? Do you want to give it a score out of 10? I mean, whatever.
I don't like scores. Because it's very arbitrary.
But how else are we going to get onto Metacritic?
Oh my god!
So they'll validate our opinion, and we won't be like one of the plebs that have to wait 36 hours to put their opinion out there.
Oh my god! But yeah, no, I definitely recommend this game. It took me roughly 4 hours to finish the game.
It took me a little bit more with all the screwing about. 6.5 basically for me.
Yeah, so it took me 4 hours to complete the game. For $30 Australian, I think it's a good price point. I think 4 hours is the perfect amount for this game.
Yeah.
I think, Yeah, going any longer, it might have outstayed its welcome, but because the game constantly is giving you new abilities as you progress through the game stays fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this is the kind of game that I can definitely see myself replaying. Having said that, I would love so much if they had, like, a New Game Plus where I could just be, like, fully upgraded, ruining shit from minute one. Even if it would, like, completely destroy the difficulty curve.
Oh, and so, like, I know we're talking way out of order here. This is me. Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry, but as someone that actually knows music, how did you think of the soundtrack? Because I thought it was really good for a horror soundtrack.
Yeah, I generally remembered, like, truth be told, if there was one thing I was focusing more on in the audio, it was more like the sound effects and, like, the monster sounds. But yeah. I generally remember enjoying the soundtrack.
Yeah, because there's a few moments I sat down and was like, nah, this feels like a horror movie soundtrack. It sounds really good. It didn't sound too generic. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
So
awesome stuff.
But I don't really know music too well, so I'm just coming up of my.
Well, I mean, you don't have to know music theory to be able to appreciate a good soundtrack. You know, if it puts you in the right mood, if it gets you hyped up when you need to be hyped up, then it's done its job. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and I definitely feel like it's a weakness of a lot of games recently. They don't have a lot of hype in the like depending on the game, but a lot of hype behind music anymore. A lot of it's in the background now. Yeah. So I like this. It didn't feel like it was too much in the background. Like, no. I did notice it and I enjoyed it. So
yeah, and I mean, like, that's kind of weirdly the paradox of good, design when it comes to games or whatever, is like the best, soundtracks, like, you'll absolutely love, but like a lot of really, really good ones you won't notice because, you're just focusing on the game because that's what it's designed to do, to put you in the right headspace. Yeah, I mean, I will totally give this a recommendation for anybody to check out. Thank you, of course, for helping to review Carrion with me, Mr. Paul.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I will put links to, like, your Twitter and all that kind of stuff in the description if you want to check that out. Also, check out the Inconsolables podcast, of which we're the better half. I mean, I always claim to be the better half, and the joke is that there's 4 co-hosts. But yeah, good times on that. Please, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave comments and likes and other stuff, and more reviews coming. I've actually do have some reviews planned, which is very exciting. So,
nice.
Thank you so much. And we won't see you soon. Here's the question. I always have to come up with a way to end these. What am I supposed to say? Because I can't say I'll see you, because then that sounds like I'm like hacking into their webcam or some shit. Like, you'll see me, except you won't, because it's just a voice.
Well, all I can say is, fellow viewers and listeners, just keep calm and carry on.
I was so into that because I was just like, is that what the whole game is? I was like thinking like, oh man, he's gonna be like, there's gonna have a flashback scene where he's like beat with a stick that says keep calm and carry on, and that's why it's called that. And then that never happened. Anyway, bye.
Bye.